CodeRunner 2 is here. It is still completely free, and it is just packed full of features that I can't wait to share with you. If you're not familiar with CodeRunner, it's a panel that you can dock in After Effects that allows you to create buttons to do lots of different things, like run a script or an expression, or even apply a preset. And in CodeRunner 2, it can now apply eases to keyframes and run After Effects menu commands. There's so much to cover here, so I'm gonna try and go as quick as I can, but if you're already an existing CodeRunner user, you have access to this. Just log into your JKInMotion product library, download version 2, install it, restart After Effects, and open it up under the Window Extensions menu. And when you run it for the first time, your V1 collection should import to V2 seamlessly. But if you're brand new to CodeRunner, I'm giving you this starter pack collection that just gives you a variety of buttons to show you the different types of things you can do with buttons inside of CodeRunner. But that's one of the new features of version 2, is that there is now a collection selector up here. So I could switch over to this collection right here, which I'm including as something you can import, by the way, with all 12 of my Scriptsmas scripts from 2025. And you'll notice that they're all using custom icons. I can even switch this to a grid mode so that you can see those, maybe make them a little bit bigger. They still live in a single folder, but you could pull them out or just completely disable the folders if you want to see this grid mode, or turn on their little description so that you can still see all of the names of those buttons. And if you really want to go minimal, you can even right click in the panel and just say buttons only, and that will remove the header and footer so that you're absolutely bare bones. This works in both grid and list mode, by the way. But you can customize the UI a lot right here in the footer. I'm gonna switch back over to the starter pack, and you could search for something, like if I wanted the time reverse keyframes command, I could just search for that and it'll show up. You can rearrange buttons. If I just jump into edit mode, I could change the order of these buttons. I could put a group inside of another group and have subfolders. Jump right back out of edit mode, and now this lives inside of that other folder. I really wanted to make this as customizable as possible for you. Let me get these shapes back out into their own area and reset the zoom level. And if you don't like these colors, you can customize them in the settings. So I have custom colors set for each and every one of these buttons, just so they're distinguishable. You can see a preview of all of the icon colors right down here, as well as choose the default icon for each button type. This is a completely searchable icon library. You can even add your own custom icons. But you can do other things too, like control the corner roundness. So if you want a pill shape button or a completely square one, you can double click the slider to reset it, change the fill color of the button, the outline, the label, so that's the text color. And you can do this on the entire CodeRunner level, on a folder level, or on the individual button level. So there are color overrides at both the button and the folder level, as well as for the entire panel. But let's talk about adding your own buttons. So I'm gonna go into my collections and I'll say new collection, and I'll just call this YouTube, and click create. And now I have an empty collection that I could add a button to. So I could click this button to add a new button. I could click this plus button up here. I could right click, lots of different ways to add buttons. And you don't even have to add a brand new button. You can actually grab a button from your library, from any other collection, and make an instance of it in a new collection. And when you update it in one collection, it updates in all of them. And you can even add an entire folder of buttons from another collection. But believe it or not, none of those ways are my favorite way to add buttons to CodeRunner. If I just pull up my File Explorer, this is my actual script UI panels folder for this version of After Effects. I'm just gonna grab this one called Align Shapes and click and drag it over to CodeRunner and let go. And it's as easy as that to add a script or a preset button to CodeRunner. I can click that button. It's gonna open the Align Shapes panel that I created on a live stream. It took me no time at all. And let me show you what that process looks like for presets. I'll grab this pointers.ffx, drop it in there, and that's now a preset button. Now, this particular preset is a shape layer based preset. So if I click it, I'm actually gonna get this error that says I don't have anything selected, because certain presets need a specific type of layer to be applied to. So I'm gonna just alt click to go into edit mode. This is a feature that I had in the first version of CodeRunner, just to make my vibe coding process go quicker. Just alt click a button to immediately start editing it. And this little menu right here allows you to choose what happens before a preset is applied. By default, it's going to do nothing, but CodeRunner can create a new solid layer, shape layer, or text layer for that preset to be applied to. So if I make an empty shape layer, click save, and then click pointers, that's gonna create the shape layer and then apply the preset, so I don't have to create that shape layer manually. This is also really great for text animation presets. And just like dragging and dropping scripts or presets onto the panel, I can just as easily customize the icon by dragging a custom SVG directly onto the button. It's gonna show me a preview, which it's an outline black icon, so it's kind of hard to see, but it's gonna ask me, do you want to use this SVG for this button? I'll say okay, and it immediately uses that icon. Now I wanna change the colors, so I'm gonna go back into edit mode. I'm gonna toggle on use custom color, and that's gonna follow the default preset color that I have set here, but I could change this to whatever I want. Purple's fine with me though. Now I've got a custom SVG icon and it's part of my library, so I can use it on any button. In addition to custom SVGs though, if I edit this script, go into the icons, you'll see that CodeRunner comes with over 5,000 categorized searchable icons. So I could search for a keyframe and there are icons for keyframes. Choose whatever icon you want, customize the colors, and make each button unique. While we're in this editor, I want to point out that the actual code is fully syntax highlighted. This is editable code, so you can change it. You can easily copy and paste revisions from vibe coded sessions directly in here. And CodeRunner even captures errors, points them out to you in the panel, and lets you jump directly to the line of code in that editor that caused the error so that you can pinpoint the problems very quickly, copy and paste in new code really quickly, and get back to work. Now let's talk about some of the other button types. So I'm just gonna move my pointers around maybe up here, switch back to list mode, and jump back into my starter pack. So we've already looked at scripts and presets, but we can also apply expressions. So why don't I just add a position keyframe on this pointer, and I'll go forward about a second and I'll move it down here, and then come up to one of my expressions buttons like loop in plus loop out, and that's gonna apply that expression to whatever properties I had selected, and now it's going to loop in a cycle between those keyframes. These are editable exactly like scripts, so just alt click on it and you can see the expression right there, customize it however you want, and save it. But the new button type that I am most excited about is an ease button. So I have a bunch of presets here. Let me get rid of that expression, and I'll show you that if I just select these keyframes and click the first one, 66 out, 88 in, that's gonna give me those exact influence values between those keyframes. Maybe I want a really tight one, I'll do 88, 88, and see the speed graph, we're getting that easing applied exactly the same. You can edit this with a fully featured graph editor, just like After Effects, both value and speed graphs. Adjust those values down here, type in custom numbers. You can even link them together to offset them symmetrically. There's snapping, transform boxes, all kinds of view options, including changing the values from percentages to Bezier values. But you don't even have to use this graph editor because of this button at the bottom called pull from selection. So you can do all of your easing like you normally do in the native graph editor, select the keyframes you want to store the easing values from, and then click pull from selection, and it does exactly that. It pulls the easing values to the button, and you can save it and reuse it as often as you want to click that button. But beyond just those easing values, you can also create multi-point curves. So let me edit this bounce one just so you can see. You can add multiple points along a curve just by control clicking on them, and that will add a new one or remove it if you hover over an existing point. If you select multiple keyframes, you're going to see a transform box. All the same keyboard shortcuts that the native graph editor uses should show up here for you exactly the same. But these multi-point buttons don't store values. Instead, they store the actual curve. So let me just change these keyframes to be a little bit shorter, and then I'm going to apply this bounce ease button to it. And you see it added a bunch of keyframes between the two I had selected. If I play this back, we're gonna see this bounce animation. And if I grab this last keyframe and drag it out, I could select them again, click bounce, and it's going to apply that same easing curve between those two keyframes. And if I play it back now, it's gonna take longer to play through. Now, I animated that curve inside of After Effects and then pulled it into a button. So again, you don't have to use CodeRunner's graph editor to animate. You can use it just to pull those values into a button and use them on any property. I've also added an overshoot button so you can see what that looks like, as well as an anticipate and overshoot. So it's gonna go in the opposite direction and then drop down. And all of this is based on the values of the keyframe. So if I didn't have this move as far and I clicked that anticipate and overshoot button again, it's going to anticipate and overshoot less. It scales with the value changes of the property. And here's another thing that's really cool. If I just add a line real quick and I go into the path and add some basic keyframes, so I'll set one there, I'll go forward and we'll just add some curves so that this is now dropped down and animating between those 2 points. I'll drag it up a little bit. You can apply these easing curves to paths in the exact same way. So let me space that out a little bit more, anticipate and overshoot. It's gonna do that with a path property, even though I didn't keyframe any of those in between values. Whatever I do to these keyframes, like maybe I drag out some of the handles on that first keyframe, even though it's a straight line, will affect how that anticipation and overshoot looks. So that's something that looks, I think, a little bit more natural. I could probably pull these out a little bit more to have a smoother curve. And all you have to do is click that button again to update those keyframes. And now you've got a very elastic animation on a property that's historically very difficult to animate. The last button type is a menu command. So I have a sample of commands included with the starter pack. Things like purging all the memory or separating the dimensions. Maybe I'll grab the position of this line and just say separate dimensions. It's exactly the same as running the menu command itself. And if you add a new one, let's just add a button. I'll choose the menu command type. I can choose from a huge list of commands, search for anything I want. So maybe time reverse keyframes, that will bring it up. It'll give you a description of almost every command over here on the right column. I could add in that time reverse keyframes button. I already have that here, but once it's added, you can just click it to run that command. Now, one other thing I should point out about preset buttons, if I add a button here, is that you can also choose from installed presets when you're creating the button. So right down here, just click on choose installed, and here's a searchable list of all of the currently installed presets with their folder names. Just click on it, add the button, and it now exists in your button list. But let's say I didn't actually want that preset. I could just right click the button and say delete button, or I could just remove it from starter pack. And if I do that, I want to show you that again, if I right click and say add from library instead of add from button, this is going to bring up all of the buttons that live in your library and have not been deleted. You can remove them from any number of collections without actually deleting the button itself. So if I search for dot, there it is, that preset that I just added. It's telling me it's unused, it's not in any collection, but I can add that one button to that group and do the same process in any other collection. So if I come over here and I add from library, I'll search for dot. This is the exact same instance of the same button. It's just living in a different collection. Now, if I right click on it and I say delete button, it's gonna give me a warning to let me know this is actually going to delete the button, and anything that references it, I'm okay with that. So I'm gonna click delete, and now that is no longer part of my library. And with these custom icons, if I edit those, I can see just the icons that I've added to CodeRunner by selecting user, and that will bring up all of the icons that I've custom imported into CodeRunner. And if you ever import one and there's a lot of white space around one, you could simply right click on it and say trim empty space, and it will fit it to that square grid. I also wanted to make CodeRunner very easy to share with other people. So I've added import and export buttons down here. So you could export a single collection and just selectively choose which folders or buttons you want to include with that collection, give it a name, and export a CodeRunner file that you could then import or share with somebody else to import. Or you could back up your entire collection. This is absolutely everything down to your UI settings, which isn't a bad idea once your button library starts to get really big, just to have that security of being able to restore it from the import menu if anything ever gets corrupted. Not that I expect that to happen to you. A couple more things down in the footer. This notification bell right here, I'll post messages when there are new updates to CodeRunner. They'll show up as individual messages right here, and it'll give you a little alert when you run CodeRunner for the first time when there's a new message to view, so you can go grab the new update. And then in this menu right here, you can also submit feedback. So you can give me general feedback, a bug report, or a feature request. And if you leave your email here, I'll be able to email you right back because these come straight to my inbox. I read absolutely every message, and I want to hear from you about what you think about CodeRunner 2 and what you'd like to see come to it. But that just about covers everything for CodeRunner 2. And speaking of feedback, I really would love to hear from you down in the comments about what you think of this tool and what you'd like to see come to it. If you haven't downloaded it before, there's a link down in the description. And again, if you do have CodeRunner version 1, you can just log into your Jake in Motion account, head to your product library, and download version 2. I hope you love CodeRunner 2. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll see you in the next one.